and welcome to Unews for Thursday, February 13th. I'm Lorraine Caceres in for Andrea Linares. We begin today with new fallout after President Trump's comments regarding the case of Roger Stone, congratulating AG Bill Barr for getting involved to reduce the recommended sentence. Democrats reacting as more DOJ prosecutors are expected to resign. Here's the very latest. Just a few hours ago, we learned Jesse Liu actually resigns. Meanwhile, the judge in Roger Stone's case has denied him a retrial. Attorney General Barr will testify sometime at the end of March. And when asked if he plans to pardon Stone, the president said he'd rather not answer the question just yet. And in the days since his acquittal, President Trump has been emboldened, targeting his enemies and protecting his friends. Let's bring in Chris Liu to talk about the president's recent hand states, while others are counting on things to turn around. Here's Carolina Sarasa. Now to the latest on the coronavirus. A 15th case has been confirmed in the United States after a patient tested positive in Texas. That patient now under quarantine at a Texas Air Force base. Worldwide, the number of cases now tops 60,000. Rafael Rodriguez has more. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is remaking parts of its coronavirus test kits that were shipped to several states. Coming up, a new death toll being back to Unews. We begin this segment with some reassuring news. After a frightening scene at an NHL game where a St. Louis Blues player suddenly collapsed after suffering a cardiac episode, he's now recovering in the hospital. Jorge Hernandez has the details. Campfire in California may have been more tragic than initially reported. At least one lawyer is saying the blaze killed more people than officials are acknowledging. Paola Byron has more. And now looking around the country, a judge in North Carolina threw out a deal to give the controversial Silent Sam monument to the sons of Confederate veterans. The judge and further south along the border between California and Mexico, 3 women froze to death in the mountains after crossing the border. According to officials, 5 people who crossed the U.S.-Mexico border illegally found themselves lost in a snowstorm Monday in mountains east of San Diego. The popular Netflix series Orange is the New Black may have been responsible for Immigration and Customs Enforcement's decision to shut down a phone line used by detainees to report concerns about conditions. But as Dulce Castellanos reports, a judge's intervention means that the hotline is restored, at least for now.
Although it's a preliminary injunction, the judge has ordered authorities to stop interfering with the hotline, and they shall also restore the free extension until a final decision has been made. In Los Angeles, Dulce Castellanos, Unews.
A Salvadoran mother's search for her son ended this week in a way she least expected. Her 23-year-old son had crossed the U.S.-Mexico border with the help of a human smuggler with hopes of reuniting with his family in California. But now she knows why her son never made it to his destination. Nidia Cavazos has the story.
Rodrigo's remains are now with the medical examiner in order to obtain official DNA results. Due to the state in which the body was found, the county sheriff says he cannot give a cause of death, but he at least remains satisfied that he was able to give a mother answers about her missing son's whereabouts. Lorraine, back to you now.
Thank you, Nidia. Such a sad story. Welcome back to Unews. A special needs student in California attacked and robbed after school. The incident caught on camera and posted to social media has led to the teen's family speaking out, with the mother compassionately not calling for a harsh penalty for the culprits. Luis Mejid has the story. A man who reportedly released his pit bull on officers during a traffic stop has died. Police in Ringwood, New Jersey say they arrested 54-year-old John Baker from Florida on Monday. He was driving a semi-truck. A tragic and bizarre series of events in Brevard County, Florida, ended with a man being fatally struck by a train days after being cautioned for trespassing at the Kennedy Space Center while searching for what he thought was a secret launch pad. David Romo has a story. Coming up, people in Colombia gather. A spike in cases of dengue fever in Mexico is raising alarms and making health officials start to pay more attention to ways to prevent more cases. But as it stands, the figures in the Americas in 2019 were already record-breaking. Claudia Solita explains.
The spread of dengue keeps spreading, and it's reaching high-ranking victims like Paraguay's president and the First Lady. Last week, Mexican Paralympic athlete Jose Alberto Perez died of the same cause. In Mexico City, Claudia Zurita, Unews.
Coming up, do you have a Ford vehicle at home? Now to the coronavirus outbreak is causing ripples in the world's economy. One industry especially hit is the $45 billion cruise ship business. Let's go to Gene Sloan. He's a senior. You never knew you needed or maybe wanted. Crocs and Kentucky Fried Chicken have joined. And now let's take a peek of what's happening in the second hour of U News with Carolina Sarasa. Caro, take it away.
I am still looking at those shoes, especially for Valentine's. What a great idea. But Lorraine, we have a lot more info coming up in minutes, and we have an update on a massive oil spill that impacted the Gulf of Mexico in 2010. New data is showing that spill was much worse than believed. And we also have the tragic story of a baby in Washington state who died after alleged exposure to mold in a Seattle hospital. We have all the details. And if you use an insulin pump, pay attention to this. There's a major recall to tell you about. Details and more coming up shortly. Lorraine, back to you.
Thank you, Carolina. We'll be waiting for you. But up first, the return of money. Today, welcome back to U News. Today in entertainment news, we have music, books, and movies. Hollywood's hottest trends appear to be children. Azul Alvarez has more in the Hollywood Minute. And curvy men close out New York Fashion Week with the message, love your body. Women aren't the only ones who can be real. But I'm happily married, so I won't be going to that party. That's all the time we have for the first hour of U News, but please stay tuned for the second hour with Carolina Sarasa. We have much more headlines coming up, so stick around.